Hello ladies, this is Caro from Lacey's Creation. I hope you're all well today. So today I'm bringing you my very first 2024 journal. The other three that I did on the previous video were just little notebooks, but this one's a real junk journal and it's made from a Ladybird book. I've been watching lots of YouTube videos while I've been away, and there seems to be a big craze or trend on golden books, but I really love the graphics in these little Ladybird books. It was a little bit small, so I sort of racked my brain and thought, well, how can I make it bigger? And rather than just having a small book with a big spine, which sometimes I don't think looks good, I've decided to make this in the Artist Bloom style, the Amity Bloom Artist in Blooming, I think she called it, her little journal that she did the lessons on. I did those lessons, oh gosh, about 3 years ago, and I really like this style. Anyway, so as you can see, it's called Jesus the Helper. On the front cover, I've got some beautiful antique lace. This was a lovely tablecloth that I've cut up. It's got that silk, French silk embroidery ribbon, and I've just used pieces out of that and layered it up with some gauze. But this here is really gorgeous antique lace. And so this is all part of the front cover. So that's the first pocket, and just a nice little tag in there. And I've got a piece of broderie anglaise here and another nice old piece of lace here. A lot of old things in this one. And I did print some words and a couple of verses onto some nice calico there, which I've frayed up, and just a little dove there. So this is a little image out of the book and another little card. This is a very old piece here, and then it opens up, and in here throughout the book I've used this little very old Bible printed from 1800 and something. So I've used little pieces of that just as ephemera, tucked it in there. That was the front page of the Ladybird book, and so I've just fussy cut around there. That is a pocket, and just some tulle and another piece of lace here. So these Ladybird books, even though they're little, they actually have about 5 signatures. I've only used 2 of the signatures in this one because it, you know, it just would have got too big. And this was the first story, Helping the Crippled Woman, and I just think the pictures are just lovely. I've reinforced this all with washi tape here. So this signature is sewn into the cover, this first little signature is sewn into the cover. So this little book could be used as a prayer journal or a devotion book, or it would even be a nice little present for us, you know, for Sunday school or something like that. This is the base of the cover, of the main cover, and so that's just some embossing that I've done, and a bit of old broderie anglaise ribbon there, layered onto some lace, and the metal book corners on there. And I've left that blank because I thought someone might like to put a photo there, but you could put anything you like. And then the cover opens up right out like that, and then it has this piece that flips out. Now I've made this piece flip out quite a way so that if you were writing on it, you could put it down and write on it. And when I first constructed the book, I was going to use that to hold some of the pages in, but it just got too big and it didn't really work. So this is some very old wrapping paper and a nice little journaling card. More of that lovely silk lace ribbon tablecloth, and then I'll lay it back down. I've done some texture paste there, and here's a few little pages, just scrappy little pages out of that little book, the Common Prayer book. and a couple of original stamps there and there. In here I've got a little piece of pianola paper. I've made this pocket out of pianola paper, and that's a little end off the pianola roll. Just some little old things collaged together there. And then I did print some of my my doilies out on my printer on some tea stain paper. So I've used some of those in the book, you'll see. This is a very old vintage sheet that I have, and I've just torn a little bit off that. Bit of old music there and more old lace. I don't think there's anything in here that's really not old. Now this page, I love this page. So this is one of those little sample cards, and but I made it myself, and this music paper under here is from late 1800s. I was just going to try and find a piece, and it is just so brittle. So I've glued it very carefully onto this piece of tie-dyed paper and made this little sample card. And then this little piece of lace here is also very, very old. So, like I said, lots of beautiful old things. And this, I'm going to sound repetitive, this lace here is also very old, but we'll see that better. And this is a nice rusty paper clip there. Another beautiful old piece of music there, and it's a lovely maroon colour which I haven't seen before, so I like to put that there, and it's all that is clipped onto a piece of pianola paper. So here's one of my printed little doilies, just with an embellishment on the corner there and a bit of stamping, some blank pages for writing. And this paper, I'm so excited to use this. I believe this is onion paper. I have done a bit of research on it. So I got a very old photo album, and as you know, the old photo albums, they came with a translucent sheet in between each page. And I did a bit of research, and I do believe it's onion paper. I could be wrong, but that to me is what that looks like and feels like. And it's very wrinkly, and when you do the research it tells you that onion paper is quite noisy. so I do believe that that's what it is, but if not, well, it is some type of glassine. And that's that old fringing, it's netting, and it's very soft. So here's another one of my printables. Now this time I've done this on an old school jotter. And once again, these grey jotters are a bit hard to come by now, and I've got one or two of them, which I got in an auction. So I'm happy, and I very carefully, I taped that down with washi tape onto just a normal piece of printing paper, and I put it through my printer, and I wasn't sure if it was going to chew it up or not. But anyway, it was successful, so I like that page. Just an old doily, little bit of a stencil there, and then this is another one of those little sample cards that I've made, just using some of the material that I've used in here. This old piece of tatting, another old vintage sheet, and another piece of embroidery off a doily. So I like that page too, and that I've clipped onto an old piece of wallpaper. I have noticed actually the last few days I've been looking at some YouTubes, and I've noticed people using the same coloured wallpaper. It must have been very popular in the day. So there's the other side of that doily, and I've just run some ribbon there. And this was a tablecloth, but this crocheting I didn't really like on that tablecloth. It just, it's too thick. To me, I didn't like it. But people, they made all sorts of things. So I've just cut that off and I used that. This is a little printable that I just had in my stash. Another piece of broad round glaze, but this time with the really pale baby blue. Now I've got a couple of big bins of printables. When I first started junk journaling, I thought the only way to do a junk journal was with digitals, and so I downloaded, bought heaps and printed them all out while I was at a job where I was able to use their printer. But I couldn't tell you who's who and what's what. This is one of my own. Little piece of washi there. So if anyone recognises anything that I can't name and you think it's, you know, someone's, well, I'm very happy to give them the credit. I just don't remember. And I used in here I've used a Helen Steiner Rice book, which I really love, her little verses and poems and things. And so this is a part of the dust jacket, and I've put it into these very antique photo corners. And of course it's backed onto one of my little printables. This I have made the centre of the signature. So that there is a pocket at the front. I haven't actually put anything in there, but that is a pocket. And this is the middle, which I've just reinforced that with more of that calico type material. And I've put nothing on there because I just think the pictures are just beautiful. But, you know, you can put a photo on there if you wanted to, or a pocket, anything you like. And then on the back, I have made a pocket, and that's the front page of the book, which I've used that. And you might recognise that I've accidentally used this picture twice. So one came off the cover and one was in the story. And it wasn't till after I'd done it and had it glued in, and then I thought, oh, that picture looks familiar. And of course that's what it was. And that's just a little what is it, a seed packet, I think, like a little library card packet, seed packet thing that you could hide something in. Another piece of old doily there, and lace, a tab, and here's 3 more of these words: purpose, celebrate and delight, just printed onto that material. And I did the same thing as what I did with the other paper. I just washi taped it onto a piece of printing paper, normal white paper, and then just ran it through the printer and kept my fingers crossed that it didn't chew it up. And then these are little verses that are done on the same material. I love this material because it can it frays very easily. And then there's another piece of that old maroon paper there. Oh, and this is lovely. This was a very old serviette, and I just used it, and I've done a little flip with that. Put the word peace up there. Isn't that pretty though? You know, for things that are quite old, even the 50s and 60s, you just have to wonder about their technology, because, you know, we're so modern now, and technology's changed, and manufacturing's changed, but boy, they did some beautiful things back in the day. So this is just the other side of that printed doily, and then I just put these little embroidered flower trim here just to pick up the colour. Lots of writing space in here. Oh, and that Helen Steiner Rice book that I was said I got things out of, well, this is the first page. You know, when you open the cover and it has a blank page, and it's got this little letter: to dear Gran, wishing you a very happy 93rd birthday, love from Lily. And I just love it. I think it's beautiful. You know, the writing was nice. So that's original, and that's out of the book, and I just thought that really went lovely in there. Oh, that's the only thing in here that's modern, and now I wish I didn't put it in. It was just a piece of, you know, a 6x6 pad I had, and I fussy cut it and put it there. I only put it there because of the blue, and I had, but, you know, now looking back in hindsight, I wish I didn't put it there, because everything in the book's so old, and that's modern. But if you really didn't like it, you could take it out. Another piece of printable there. Another little verse out of Helen Steiner, My Garden of Prayer. And I've just put a little piece of that old wallpaper on there. And once again, it's another old doily. Oh, that was a placemat, that one, I think. But I've cut it out and glued it on there. That's the back side of the wallpaper. Isn't it beautiful? All that embossing. And then that's the other side of it. I've just put a corner tuck there, and I tried to put a piece of this material just to make the spread even with the colour. And then in there I've got another Helen Steiner poem in there, which I've just put onto some coffee dyed paper, done a little bit of stamping and a bit of emboss there and gauze and a ribbon. And I thought I got clever with the chalk paint, but I'm not very good at painting. I'm not very artistic. And this is a lovely authentic first day cover, Christmas 1978 from America. It's from Washington on the stamp mark. So I didn't do anything to that to alter it because, you know, I thought whoever wants this little journal might like to have that original or might like to alter it themselves. That's a gorgeous old, very old pearly button. A bit more of that sheet. It was lovely. The other side of the serviette, the newsprint, the onion paper, and then this little bit of embellishment on this page, a bit of old lace and those little embroidered flowers. And then in here, this is my favourite page. In here is, you can see that's just made out of the pianola beginnings. But I was going through my stamp collections, and these old acetate glassine little envelopes. These are original and they're really old. Like the stamps that I got them out of were 1937, but I've put some Christmas stamps in here. I took those ones out and put some Christmas. And same with the little acetate bag. But you can see how yellow it is, so you can see that they're old. And oh, there's a little piece of that really old music there. I put that there. I thought you could collage with that if you wanted to. And then for Christmas, my daughter gave me that gorgeous old photo album with all these corners in, and it's so fragile as well. So I've just popped that in here in this little envelope. Bit of that old sticky tape there. I just love it. I love this page. I love old. Anything that's older than me, I think is old. Yeah, I just love it. So that's in there, and it's just in with some washi tape, as you can see. And over here, another little one of Helen Steiner's poems or readings. Just popped in there. And that music was 2 and 6, so that tells you how that it's, you know, it's got to be at least from the 50s. And then I used the front cover off that music to make this ribbon in here. So that's a paper ribbon in there inside that piece of broad round glaze, just to match up the colour. And then on this side, this printable turned out upside down. So I've used the real piece of doily in there and just glued it. You can see the upside down one underneath, and I've put that one up that top way and just made a little belly band. And then this is another little piece of the Bible that I used. It says 1910, and then it says 1929, and then it says 1955. So I don't know if this little Bible had been handed down or given to different friends or relatives, because the years are all so different. 1910, 1929 and 1955. And so then I just took a little signature out of it, part of the Gospel of Matthew, and pop that in there. And you can use that for collaging, because it's so, you know, the patina on it is gorgeous and it's brittle, and it would just be really nice to make masterboard out of or collage in with something. So that just belongs in there. And then on, this is, I'll have to move this all over. This is the back flip. So my original idea when I made these flips was to have the signature like that and then have that to hold it in, but as you can see it doesn't fit. So I changed my idea and I just made it as a little back flip. That's just a little sampler of the material and a piece of the lace that I've put in the book, and that's the back page. It's got the original price of the Ladybird book, 4 and 3, 4 shillings and threepence. Is that how you said it? I think it was 4 shillings and threepence. I think that's how they said it. And there's another one of those little cards, but this one I put a piece of paper on so you can write on that if you want to. Bit more collagen with the pianola, an old New Zealand stamp there which was threepence, and a bit of gauze, once again on an old piece of sheet. And then out of the spine, I just made these little bookmarks that you can use. Ladybird book and stories there. Put a bit of coffee dyed paper on the backs of those, so you can use those as bookmarks in this book or in any book. And then inside here, because I was running out of space, I just put another one of the signatures out of the Ladybird book. A little pocket there out of a striped sheet. More of that old Broadway Anglaise. And then this was the signature helping the blind man. Aren't the pictures are just beautiful. I love all old children's storybooks. But when I saw this, when I found this on my shelf, I thought, oh, I have to do that. And that's the inside cover or the back cover, one of them. And then on the back there, just another little pocket with a bit more texture paste on there. One of the printable doilies, and then another little journal card in there. So that's that. And then because this book can be, and then there's some more embossing there on a piece of ledger on the back cover. Because this book can be a little bit cumbersome to write in, I used the very back cover of the Ladybird book, put a little piece of lace on the back and just left that page original, and that can be your book board for writing on. So no matter where you are in the book, if you want to write, just turn that lace around that way and you can write on there quite easily, and that works throughout the book. So it's a nice idea for writing on these books with all this lace and whatnot inside of them. And then last but not least, so I'll pop that in there, or just on the top. Yeah, like that would be better, with the lace running down the spine, and then pop that over, and then that closes up, and that's what it looks like. And then on the back, I've got another doily with the word love there, and I've just layered it on some paper doily there, and it's on calico. So that's what it looks like from the back, from the front. It's a lovely little bulldog clip there with a bit of old tulle on it, and I love this look with these little tabs, piece of pianola. And that's all there is. So I hope you enjoyed that, ladies. It's not for everyone, I do understand that, but hopefully there'll be someone there that will love it as much as I do, and it will be for sale. If you're interested, you can just pop down and leave me a message in the comments section, or you can go over to Instagram and message me there. And I also have a Facebook page called Lacey's Creations. You can also message me on there. So thanks very much. I'm really excited, really excited to be halfway through my next journal, which is an Edith Holden journal, and I love Edith Holden. So I'm I'm getting through it quite quickly because I'm so excited about making it. But anyway, thank you very much. I hope everyone stays safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much. Bye bye.